What's up, tribe? Y'all, this thing, I can't get the phone in the thing the right way. Anyway, I keep fooling with it. But anyway, this is going to be you guys' review of Claws Season 2, Episode 4. It is late because Episode 5 comes on tonight. But it's all good. We're going to get it in. Get in where we fit in, y'all. I just got out the pool, so excuse me if I'm looking a little rough. This is how I love y'all. I'm trying to get this in. I'm about to head back to the house now, so I could get this post done. But anyway, so Claws, you guys, Claws was so good. It's getting good now. It was good before, but it's getting there. And some of the predictions that we had are coming to pass about who knows who and who knows what's going on and what's what and who's who. But we start off the episode with the clinic opening. Desna is doing her damn thing as a lieutenant. She got this second clinic open one time, and Zlata is so happy that she gives her a Maserati, honey. And of course, Desna's like, see, this is how you're supposed to treat you lieutenants. This is how you're supposed to treat people who are working for you and who are getting the job done. Because remember, we wouldn't be in this mess if Uncle Daddy had just done what he was supposed to do and respected Desna and took care of Desna the way he should have took care of Desna, and we wouldn't even be having the problems that we having now. Well, I ain't gonna say none of them, but y'all know what I'm saying. And so she gets back to the shop, and of course all the girls are seeing the car, and they starting to have a little bit of problem. They like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because we working just as hard as you are. We working and we ain't getting all of this. And Desna's like, hold up now. Like we getting more than what we were getting. And y'all know I'm the second lieutenant. And the girls are starting to give each other that side eye and that look, because they starting to feel like maybe this shit's going to Desna's head a little bit. Just a little bit. We see what Desna's talking to Rolla, and she's trying to say, look, is Uncle Daddy really trying to plan something at Zlata's golf thing next week? She's like, come on, Rolla, like you really need to talk Uncle Daddy out of this, because it's not going to end out good for nobody. And Rolla is like, look, this what he doing, he hooking up with the Haitians, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And Desna is like, look, let me see if I can talk to Uncle Daddy myself. Now you know good and damn well you ain't never been able to talk Uncle Daddy out of nothing, but okay. Remember the DA, we left off last week with the DA arresting Dr. Ken. Is his name Ken? Dr. Ken? I think so. And so he's in there, and of course they are scaring him. It's Anne's girlfriend. Arlene is in there, and her new partner. And he's like, I thought you weren't even with the force anymore. And Arlene was like, does it look like I got fired? Like, I'm here. Does it look like I got fired? Come to find out, there's a joint operation, a sting operation with the FBI and with the local police, and Arlene is on this thing. Now the question is going to be, is she legit getting back with Anne, or is it all part of the setup? I think it's part of the setup, but we're going to see. And he starts singing like a jaybird. Like at first he was trying to act like he ain't know nothing. He tried to play dumb. He never played hard. He never do that. But he tried to play dumb. And then he was like, look, I ain't really even around these people like that. I don't know any information. Like, I am just the doctor. Because at first he tried to act like he was doing some legit work. And they was like, come on now. You gave, prenatal care to octogenarian or whatever. And it was all part of the setup. Like the old lady that was getting the pills, she was part of the sting. And once he sees all of that, he's like, look, they got me. He was like, look, all right, what you need me to do? So they're like, we need you to wear a wire. Y'all know that ain't gonna be good. He can't. You know what I mean? He ain't made out of that. He ain't about that life. He ain't gonna be able to do it. But whatever, that's what they have him doing. They have him wearing a wire. So they let him go. Nobody knows he got arrested, because they were looking for him at the opening, but he wasn't there. They just kind of went on, Zlata just went on and opened it up and was like, look, we ain't got time to be, one monkey don't stop no show. We ain't got time to be waiting on him. We're gonna go ahead and move along. We see that Polly is really struggling with the daughter, the little girl that she bought, her daughter that she bought from the mother. And the little girl is becoming more and more influenced by her boyfriend Malik, who is a black Muslim, and which is so crazy that Malik is even entertaining dating a white woman if he's so into the Nation of Islam. But whatever. And Polly is just struggling. She is just trying to be, she's smothering her. She's trying to be down, doing all the stuff that people do when they start feeling like their children are getting away from them. And she's all, just trying to be the cool mom, trying to be this, trying to be that. And the little girl is like, look, I just need you to back up off me. You're not my real, how kids do. You're not my real mother. Leave me alone. I'm not trying to be caught up in, leave me. I'm just, let me be with Malika. Let me just live my life. Let me be my black Muslim self, even though I'm not black. And I can't be a black Muslim. I can be a Muslim. I can't be a black Muslim because I'm not black. But she's really struggling with this, and we're going to see how that sort of pulls things through too. We see Ann and Arlene together. Ann is getting all these cute little text messages and smiling and giggling and everything, and everybody's all like, yeah, they all happy that she's back with her. And of course they don't know what's really going on the back end. They just think it's all happy and kisses and hugs and shit. They're gonna find out it ain't all that they think it is. Desna meets up with Uncle Daddy, and she's trying to talk Uncle Daddy out of it. And she's like, look, this isn't going to come out well. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? Like, what do you think the end result is going to be? This isn't going to work out for you. Chill out. Let's have a sit down. Let's try to come together so we can work out the problems. But what you going to shoot up the golf tournament? Like, it's not going to work out. And Uncle Daddy is like, look, don't you worry about what I got going on. Me and the Haitians, we got this, and we're going to do the damn thing. And of course, Desna still has no clue that the Haitians that he talking about is her boyfriend Haitian. She's not even making the connection at all. So Desna ends up telling Zlata about the attack. Desna's like, look, I don't have no allegiance to Uncle Daddy. Like, Jen and all of them are like, you really gonna tell on Uncle Daddy? And Desna's like, I don't have no allegiance to Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy tried to screw me every which way but up. Like, he didn't treat me like shit. And I get it that none of them like the Russian, but they act like Uncle Daddy was the good guy and Uncle Daddy was this old savior. Uncle Daddy treated them like some shit, especially Desna. And, he made racist comments and made sexist comments and all kinds of stuff. Y'all remember that? So Desna ain't forgotten. Desna's like, look, I don't owe Uncle Daddy shit. So I'm, right now, Zlata may not be perfect, but she is treating me pretty damn good, and I'm going to, this is where my allegiance, is going to be for now, because she's treating me good and he ain't treating me like shit. So she ends up telling Zlata about it, but she says, look, Zlata, like, I know I can get Uncle Daddy to come to the table. Let's sit down and let's have a sit down, a talk before it becomes too much, before it gets too big. Let's all sit down and come together. And Zlata's like, okay, sure, we can do that. That's cool, no problem. Well, Uncle Daddy goes to the Haitian, aka the doctor, and he's like, look, let's do this. I'm ready to hit. I'm ready to, he's telling them he wants to hit them at the golf tournament. And the doctor is like, look, we ain't doing that now. Like, we ain't ready for that yet. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, we ready to rock and roll. Like, what do you mean we ain't ready yet? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, look, I told you we were going to hit the clinic when the clinic, he was like, the clinic is open. He said, no, when all of the clinics open, then we'll hit. Like, then we'll do a clean sweep. But until then, I need you to just chill out, lay low, and do what the fuck I told you to do. And Uncle Daddy tried to break bad, and about 4-5 black Haitians got about the car with machine guns aimed at Uncle Daddy, and he was like, do we have a problem? Uncle Daddy was like, nah, fine, nah, we ain't got a problem. The new doctor down at the clinic is having panic attacks, talking about her best friend just got arrested for doing, running the clinic, and that she got her too much to lose and she just can't do it. And, Desna handled it like a boss, and was like, if you don't get yourself together and get out there and sell them damn pills. But we see that Desna is really getting more and more into this role as the lieutenant, and somebody that Zlata is really leaning on and really, depending on. We see that Dr. Ken mama then showed up at Polly and Dr. Ken's place, talking about it's about time I met you, and come to find out that she's a therapist. And the little girl, I forget her name, she shows up with Malik, And Polly is like, well, it's not a good time for us to have dinner. And they're like, never, no, it's a great time. Everybody is like, Polly's trying to get this woman out of there and trying to get the Malik away. And she's just, how Polly, she got her idea of how things should be and the perfect little way things should come down. And she's like, I'm just not ready. I can't handle this. And everybody is like, no, it's great. No, we should do this. No, it's fine. Like, no, we don't need to, go somewhere else. Everything is cool. So they end up having this dinner. And poor Polly. Polly is trying so hard, y'all. But everybody's seeing straight through it. The little girl, she says she wants to say the prayer. And Polly was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And the mother was like, no, let her pray. Let her say her prayer. She starts reciting the lyrics to Fight the Power, y'all. And damn, Polly gonna join in and start beatboxing. Y'all, oh my gosh, it was hilarious. And then Polly kept trying to get the girl to dye her hair red. And the girl's like, I don't want to look like you. I don't want to look like you. Why are you trying to make me look like you? And she was like, but I think you would be a great redhead. And it's something, I don't know. Polly is really holding her grip tight on this little girl. And the little girl is really, of course she's rebelling and she's pulling away. And she's really borderline, disrespectful towards Polly. And the mother pulls Polly inside and she's like, why do you want her to look like you so bad? Like, what is that about? Like, maybe you need to be in some therapy and you need to figure out what the problem is, because until you figure out what your issue is, you're going to continue to lose her, because she's pulling away from you because she senses this unrest you have in your soul. Like, she's really psychoanalyzing Polly, and she ain't too far off the mark. But of course, y'all know Polly is like, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, and she rolling out. Now, remember Hammer and Pickle is the old club that Zlata done took over from Uncle Daddy. It used to be female strippers, and now she got her all-male review, her a la Magic Mike show going on. And remember, Dean is dancing in the show. So she decides that this is going to be the perfect time for Dean to have his solo. And Desna is like, I don't think he's ready for that. Like, he is not ready for no solo. He can't handle it. It's going to be too much for him. And Zlata's like, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Desmond's like, I don't think he's going to be able to handle it. So everything is building up to Dean's performance that night, So that's where Polly left. Polly left to go to because y'all know Polly is the choreographer. She did her whole little Debbie Allen from Fame speech. Y'all know how funny she is. So now we see Uncle Daddy is totally disheartened, totally depressed, totally all of those horrible words, because his last resort that he thought he could get the Haitians to help him put Zlata out of business, they're telling him no. He don't really have a crew, you know what I mean? Like, he really don't have nobody. He's sitting at the bar and his boyfriend is there with him, and he is just so, like, he's just drunk and depressed, and he's just there. And and he's actually being public with the boyfriend, like they're kissing in public and everything. And you see other people around are like disgusted by it, like, oh, why is he here with that? And because he's at some like country club type bar, like everybody's there is in suits and look real yuppie looking type characters. And I mean, Uncle Daddy's oblivious to it because he's drunk and he's depressed and all of that. So he starts having visions. He sees his ex-wife, well, the one that died, the one that was killed. He sees her and she's got the blood and everything from where she was shot and all that good stuff. But she tells him, look, get off your ass and get it done. Like, you are not the man that I know. The man that I know will be kicking butt and taking names. And you need to figure out a way to get your shit back, get your dignity back, and get everything back from this woman that took it from you. And if you were the man that I know, you would be avenging my death and you would be handling business. So get off your ass and get it done. So while this is going on, you start seeing the people at the bar start making little, sexist slurs, faggot. Why is he in here? Get away from us with all that. We don't want to be around your lifestyle, or we don't want to be subject to your lifestyle. All those little nasty comments. Honey, Uncle Daddy done got himself a second win. Uncle Daddy whoops all of their asses at the bar, and he getting ready to pick up. He picks up a Maker's Mark bottle to bust it over somebody's head, and his wife comes back to him and she says, you save that for something important, because you got more important business to handle. You save it for the important when it's really something to celebrate. So he said, okay. So he picks up a different bottle. He busts the boy over the head and then gouges his neck with the broken glass from the bottle. He really leaves carnage at this bar. Now, I don't know how he walked out of there without somebody calling the police, but okay, he did. Okay, so we see Dean is getting ready for his we see Dean is getting ready for his little solo. And I'm sorry, I went out of order, so my notes out of order. He's getting ready for his solo. Bryce actually delivers the divorce papers to Jen, and Jen is like, come on, Bryce, like, we can start over, we can work this out. And he was like, no, we can't, because I'm not who you want me to be, and you're not who I want you to be, and you don't love the man that I am. You love the man that I used to be, and I'm not him anymore. I guess basically saying, look, I'm gonna snort my coke and I'm gonna be a gangster, and you don't want me to be that person anymore, but that's who I am. And she just can't. He said, you just can't. You can't be with what I am. And he said, and I just can't forget what you did to me. So he delivers the divorce papers, and of course, that just sets Jen off. Then we see Desna with the doctor, and they're driving along, and he pulls off at the beach, and he tells her to get out the car, and she's like, come on, we're gonna be late for Dean's performance. What are you doing? He's like, just come on, take your shoes off, come, let's walk along the beach for a minute, I want to talk to you. And so of course they get out on the beach or whatever. He gets down on one knee and he proposes to Desna. He's got this huge ring. Do you hear me? That thing is huge. And Desna is like, oh my god, like I can't, oh my god, like I cannot, and of course she says yes. So they get to while this is going on, we see that Roller is actually he's on daddy duty. Like, the baby is sick and Roller is staying home, Uncle Daddy, because Uncle Daddy decides that, okay, I'm out of order, let me finish this. Roller is home with the sick baby, but you see that he's really trying to be daddy. He's calling the doctor. He's getting upset because the baby's upset, and his wife gets upset, and he's comforting her, and he's like, look, we're gonna be okay, the baby's gonna be okay. So you see Roller is really trying to come into his own and try to be a good daddy. He's really trying to work this role as daddy or whatever. And Uncle Daddy is actually trying to get in touch with Roller, because he didn't got his second win, and he done called some boys up from Atlanta to come down to Florida, and they decided they're not gonna wait till next week to give Zlata. They're gonna do it tonight at the reopening of the Hammer and Pickle. Is that what it's called? Hammer and Pickle? Yeah. But Roller's not there, because Roller's not answering the phone, because he's with the baby. He's like, he didn't even answer the phone. He's dealing with the baby. We see Dean getting ready to go out. Oh, Desna shows up at the club and tells everybody she's engaged, and Arlene is actually at the club with Ann, and everybody sees the ring. And of course, Jen's trying to be happy, but you see there's a little bit of depression. You see it across her face, like she's feeling some kind of way, but she tries to be happy for Desna. You see that she really is trying to be happy for her. And Dean comes out to perform, and just what Desna said, the lights are too much, it's too bright for him, and he can't handle it, and he ends up running off stage. And Desna's getting ready to get up and go get him, and Virginia is like, no, he's got to do this himself. And I thought, now, isn't that mature of Virginia? And look at her telling Desna, and she's like, no, I went to him before, I gave him a little quickie to calm his nerves, but he's got to do this himself. He's going to have to process. And he does. He goes in the back, and he's having a moment, and Polly is able to calm him down. And Polly is like, look, forget the routine. Don't try to do the routine. You just go out there and you just have fun. You just dance. Just go dance. And he's like, okay, all right, I'm going to do that. And Dean, honey, Dean gets out there on that floor and Dean cuts up. Okay, Magic Mike ain't got nothing on Dean. Dean tore that damn dance floor up. Even Desna had to be like, he is good. Dean danced his little ass off. You hear me? Now, while all this is going on, you see Uncle Daddy's getting drunker, and he's getting his troops together. He got Bryce with him, and the people that came in from out of town, you know, and all that good stuff. And you see them getting themselves together, getting ready to roll up on the bar. And as you see certain people are leaving, so you know who's not in the bar. So you see Roller's not there, like I said. Ann left with Arlene. Dr. Ken is probably left because Dr. Ken wasn't feeling good. Because, of course, every time he's thinking about he got to wear this wire, he gets sick. He's throwing up and stuff. So she's not there. Virginia and Dean left because, you know, of course, Virginia like, I need to take my man home and show him, you know, my real private dance, you know. Zlata is on the stage singing this song. She's get to sing it all by myself, whatever. And they start shooting up the club. While she's standing on stage, they're shooting all around her. You see Desna hiding under the table. You see Jen hiding under the table. You see, you know, all of a sudden, Zlata pulls out a gun with an infrared on it, trigger on it, and she starts shooting up the club. She's just shooting them one at a time, picking them off. And she shoots Bryce, dead smack in his chest. Now, something that was weird, it went to commercial after that, but then we get back from commercial, and we see them at the emergency room, taking Bryce into emergency room, but the doctor ain't nowhere to be found. Now, I thought it was weird that the doctor wasn't triaging him, getting him to the hospital, because it wasn't even like he was in the ambulance. They driving him to the hospital. So why the doctor wasn't in the backseat? Oh, that's right. The doctor, I'm sorry, I take that back. The doctor left. The doctor had walked off. We saw the doctor. I'm sorry. I was about to my throat. That's right. The doctor did leave. So he wasn't there. That's why. See how I be talking stuff through? So they get Bryce to the hospital. So Bryce, now you see the bullet hit him, and one, you like, damn. But he's not dead yet, or at least they have not pronounced him dead yet. He's at the hospital. Uncle Daddy is there, and, you know, Jen is there, and Desna is there. All of them at the hospital. So when Desna leaves the hospital, Desna goes to, she's depressed, she's upset, she's sad. And I want to say she went to the doctor's house, because she went right in the front door. So I'm thinking it had to be somebody's house that she had access to or key to. So I'm thinking it was the doctor's house, I think. But either way, she walks in and she starts hearing voices. She hears Zlata's voice. Maybe she was at Zlata's house because it was fine. She heard Zlata's voice, but then she heard the doctor's voice and was like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. So she doesn't announce herself. They don't hear her coming. And she stands on the outside of the door and she hears them talking, and they are talking about her. She's like, and they're making fun of her. She's like, tell me how you did it again. He said, I drove to the beach and I made it all dramatic and I got down on one knee at sunset. They're talking about the proposal and they're making fun of her and they're laughing about it. And she was like, and you have no clue that you don't even love her, honey. So Zlata and the doctor been in on this from the day one. They know each other. They in cahoots. As a matter of fact, they even having sex, because that's how we ended with Zlata giving the doctor a little treat. You know what I'm saying? And so now Desna is standing there. She already flashed back once on when she tried to give Zlata to have a sit down, a peaceful sit down. But now, of course, she's thinking about that stuff. And now she has to realize that she's been set up from day one, being played a fool. So tonight's episode is going to be very interesting to see her response to that, y'all. But some people came up with that theory and said they've known each other all along. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all drop it in them comments and tell me what y'all think.